So I'm very fortunate I get to coach golf for a living. You know, I love golf. I'm involved with golf a lot, obviously. So I hear this a lot. I'm swinging too fast. I need to slow down. Now let's think about it. Unless you are actually swinging faster than a tour pro, I include Bryson in there, maybe you are swinging quicker than him, maybe you need to slow down. Most of us though, the added speed is going to help our golf. It gets us to a higher level of performance. So today's video, I am going to show 4 things that I think are the reason why you feel like you're swinging too fast. I'm not arguing about the feel, but I want to give you some solutions that are far more usable than just trying to slow down, because you've probably seen it. Slowing down is sometimes a quick fix, but when you then try to use it as your long-term swing thought, eventually the commitment drops and you stop playing well. I want you guys playing well. So let's look at these 4 things and see if any of them apply to you. So the first thing that I see golfers do, which then they instantaneously go, I swang too fast, is not releasing the body. And this is a good way to kind of give you a different view of this experience. Have you ever been on the course and maybe taken a shot out of deep rough and the rough was a bit too deep for the shot you were trying to play? So you make a big swing, your club gets in the grass, and then you get a jolt because the club stops instantaneously. You know, that's what happens when you don't turn your body. Because turning the body, it lets you speed up and it lets you get into delivery, but it also lets you come around and take that energy back. Because think about it, if I accelerate, I need to be able to then slow the club back up. If you don't turn your chest, you end up hitting the ball and you get this big shoot of energy come up your body. A massive break happens and all of a sudden it feels like there was too much energy to handle. So it's then very logical to say, look, I swang too fast. In my in-person lessons, I'll see it a lot when I've got somebody moving their body better. So they'll be hitting it good and they'll say, oh, that feels lovely and smooth. And then as soon as they don't do it, they'll go, that's the one I go too fast. Wasn't that you went too fast, it's that you didn't release the body. You release the body, I would argue you'll swing it quicker, but it will feel a far more enjoyable movement through the ball. You know, you're not going to get that jolt. So if that's you, think about how can I move my body better. Move your body better, you'll then stop working on trying to slow down. Number 2 on this list is golfers that don't load the golf club tend to feel like they are swinging too fast. Because if you don't load it, you're effectively having to fight the weight of that club for the whole swing. So typical, when we go back, you know, we don't use enough wrist. So, and you'll see this happens a lot. You pair, like, I need to be slow and not use the wrist because that's going to equal consistency. Unfortunately, that doesn't. You know, you end up having to overwork the club and it's harder to get the club forward into impact. It's harder to actually get into delivery. So if you feel like you're too quick, actually feeling a bit more wrist action, you know, trying to get into that very typical kind of L position, and it's feeling actually I've got control of the weight of that club now. When I get to the top and I change direction, I can now put some load into that club. So then when I start to release it, again, it feels far more manageable. And just like the previous one, body turn, I would argue, again, you will swing it quicker, even though it feels smoother and it feels far more easy on the body. So if you don't load the golf club, the likelihood is you will swing and struggle and want to slow down. That is not the answer. Load, turn. Number 3 on the list is sequencing. So how the golf swing should work is once we get to the top of the swing, the lower body goes first, then the chest, and then the arms. You know, that's kind of the sequence that we want to have. If we don't put the legs in, it feels like the arms are doing too much, they're going too quick because they've got nothing to work with. So we get to the top of our swing no legs, club gets thrown out. We go, I'm too quick. Trying to feel like you have a bit of a smoother transition could actually benefit you. But when I hear people say I want to go slow, I think they do it across the whole swing. So I would say I don't mind it feeling like nice and relaxed and smooth at the top, but even if you get that feeling, without the legs, the arms don't have anything to work with. To really simplify the golf swing, think of the legs are what can give you the lateral move, and the upper body is what gives you the twisting. So if you only twist, and think about it, if I get to the top and only twist, the club has to come out. You see? So if I put in some more of the leg move, you see it gets the club coming back. So you see when you've got both of them, you know, that's when the swing starts to blend. That club's going to feel like it's tracking down, you know, more on a plane, more on a delivery that's easy to handle. So slowing down's not going to answer. And I would argue in this one, and this is the first one that I've really said, I would actually try and speed up the legs. I try and put more energy in the legs. I would try and push through the ground more. Because what it does is it gives the arms something that's going to drag them, take them along for the ride. You know, the arms stop having to think about where they need to go, and they get shown and directed more organically. So you'll swing quicker, you'll feel like you're swinging quicker, but the overall swing will feel far more manageable. So sequencing is a big one. What I do see is if you are lacking sequencing a lot, slowing down is actually quite logical, but it puts a massive ceiling on how good you're going to be, because you just have to keep dialing it down, dialing it down, dialing it down. So you eventually might even start getting a good contact, but you don't hit the ball far enough to improve your index. You know, like I say, you put that massive ceiling on. So I would much prefer you use this solution rather than just slowing down. Number 4, and the last one, is the contact. So what can happen is when we miss hit, and you're like, look at me, I've got some blades. You know, so even if you're using quite chunky clubs, you know, if you got a blade like this especially, when you miss hit it, you get like a shocking feeling. It comes shooting back up the shaft, and it feels like it gets seared into the back of your brain. You know, but what that does is it takes over any of the other like good stuff that happened. So you can make a good swing and hit it slightly out the toe. If you hit it out the toe, that information shoots up the shaft, shoots into your brain, and you go, that was really bad, I need to slow down. When actually it probably wasn't that bad of a swing. So when we're miss-hitting, don't be too critical of your swing, especially if you've got some good shots in there as well. You know, the classic example I would give, you hit 10 shots and then you hit 7 pretty good shots and 3 bad ones, and then it's easy to go, well, the 3 bad ones were too fast. The 3 bad ones were such different swings to what I did. When I've studied the swing and like when I've just like visually seen it when I've been giving lessons, I don't see people's swings change vastly. You know, those 3 shots that weren't as good don't tend to be 3 of the most crazy swings ever. They tend to look pretty similar. So if we miss hit, sometimes it's just going, look, that was a miss hit. I'm not going to be too critical. I'm going to then just hit some more shots and see what I'm doing. Because especially on the course, if you miss hit and then you go, you know what, I'm going to dial down. You dial down the speed. Yes, you might feel like you take a little more control, but you dial down your ability to hit great shots as well. So your score doesn't thank you. And like I said, you keep dialing it down, you get to a point when not a lot's happening. I don't mind you using the feeling of being smooth. You know, smooth in transition. I'm smooth, that allows me to accelerate. So I have no problem with the word smooth. Slow, however, slow tends to turn into no energy. Slow tends to turn into lazy. Slow tends to give you lots more shots on the golf course, unfortunately. So they'll give you more. The only thing it gives you more is a higher score. So don't use slow. Blend in smooth, and I hope the things that I've just shown you have been somewhat helpful and given you a new perspective on the concept of I need to swing down. It's a tempo issue, it's a rhythm issue. You know, what I'm seeing a lot is when you use them, and I'm not even arguing if you're right or wrong. You know, I've given you some examples of where I think maybe they're better things to work on, but I want you to have things you can work on. Sometimes just speeding up or slowing down, it's too broad, so you can't really use it as a way to get better. You know, I always want to feel with my golf, or if I'm giving a lesson, that the person has the ability to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They can see that there's somewhere to go, some progression where if they keep doing what they're doing and they keep getting a bit more knowledge, practicing a bit more, that they'll feel in a few months' time they'll be better. Sometimes when we're just working on like trying to slow down, it's very much a band-aid, and I'll say it again, you keep turning it down, you start moving back and back from the light, you start getting away from where your potential is, you get a ceiling, and then you stop enjoying this game. So hope this has helped. Get some comments down below. Are you somebody that swears by, well, I have to slow down? Are you somebody, and you know, I would really like to hear from this person, you actually feel like you swing it your best when you're not thinking and you try and swing fast? You know, and I'd like to see that, so that you might give some people some chances to kind of have a look at some other people's experiences and to kind of get rid of this myth that slowing down makes it easier, because it doesn't. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe, keep enjoying your golf, and I hope to catch you soon.